Hello everyone, and welcome back to another session of my review of my 21 Conduct TNNT Ascension. It's been a few weeks since we had an installment of this, but due to the holidays and some other projects, I haven't been able to upload anything, but here we are, so let's get right into it. I believe we last left off leaving Minetown, and we got these awesome +5 boots, which should help us a lot here. Especially because we don't have the remove curse spell or yet, and we don't have pets to curse test, and we don't have we're playing atheist, so we can't use altars to curse test, so we don't have a great way to find good armor to put on. But we knew that that was +5 due to the price in the shop, so we knew it was worth putting on. So yeah, that was a great find. We're still desperately looking for some way to get self-polymorph, which is basically we want a ring of polymorph control, because we don't have any solution for foodless yet. I believe we're going back up and probably heading to Sokoban. Sokoban has a lot of rings, so it's a good place to go to try and figure that out. We do have one 300 value ring, so that very well could be polymorph control. But we're not going to know right away. It'd be nice to find some holy water. We do have some ID scrolls. If we get a blessed ID, that would be a huge boon for us. Otherwise, we may have to individually ID that 300 value ring once we, are getting close to dying of hunger. Or just throw it on and pray. Not literally pray since we're atheists, but really hope that that is something. Yeah, let's get on with this and see where we go from here. Go back and take a quick look at this inventory again. I'm still playing in kind of risky territory because we're assuming this game's not going anywhere. So I imagine I'll probably just read these books, not knowing if they're cursed or not. I can probably read at least level 1 and 2 spell books without having any issues. We do have an expensive camera. We can use that in lieu of Alberith, except you'll note, because I think I tried to use that against that owlbear that almost killed us, so it's not quite as reliable. Alright, let me see if I can fast forward here. Go back and let's start from here. Serving the fuel in my lamp, but using it just to reveal more tiles there. Alright, yeah, so we came back up to level 2. I think we were assuming that this was a relatively safe, fully cleared floor, so it felt like it was a good enough place to just read some spell books. Level 1 spell books, and God, it's been a while since I've looked at it. I believe level 2 spell books are pretty safe to read, even if you fail them. The effects aren't that bad, I don't believe. The amount of turns that you're paralyzed is based on how long it takes to read the book. I know all the level 1 spell books are very short, so you won't get paralyzed more than like 3 turns. I think level 2 might fall in that category. I'd have to double check though. Actually, I haven't played any games since TNNT, so some of my more specific knowledge is probably a little rusty. That magic missile, that's a huge find. That is excellent. I probably won't use the knock spell this entire game. Maybe if I want to train, I believe it's a matter school. That is a lot of the value in level 1 spells, is just training your spells. The whole spell training, skill training thing for casting in this game is a little weird. A monster, probably not going to use that. Too difficult to comprehend, which means we can fail. I don't know if we're going to end up reading that or not. Doesn't look like it. And just ditch the spell books because they're heavy. Like a ton of daggers at that gnome. Okay, what do we want from the shop here? Nothing, we just price ID'd the boots to see if they were enchanted, those elven boots, and then we leave. And we continue down to the dungeon. Level 5, a new floor. I was searching there and didn't have much luck finding any secret doors. Sometimes you get a corridor that's really just a dead end. Not worth searching like forever. Other ways to go. Go ahead and magic missile the leprechaun there. I line it up so we get a bounce off of that wall. Just shuffling what letters certain spells and items are on there for convenience, I guess. Magic missile is a huge find. Since we can't like wait for our powder regen because of the hunger clock that we're on here, we can't just use it constantly probably, but probably going to be more energy efficient than Force Bolt, especially if we get bounces and stuff. I'm sure there are absolutely no traps on this box. I don't know how worthwhile that is since it is wasting turns. Floating eye. Probably just kill that so we don't accidentally bump into it. Even though I dropped a corpse, we're playing foodless, so we can't use it. Let me go back and what do we have here? Attack spells. If we're just using Magic Missile and Force Bolt, there's really no reason to raise attack spells on a wizard, I don't think. So we can get them both to 0, I believe. I don't think you really need to raise that unless you're trying to cast stuff like Finger of Death. It doesn't increase the damage of either Magic Missile or Force Bolt. I don't think it really gives any effect other than spellcasting chance. Checking for traps again. I guess I'm taking risk in some areas and not others because I'm being very careful with these traps. To be fair, if that was a shock trap, it could fry like all my rings and wands. They're really essential for what we're doing here. I could also just drop them. If you do drop those items, do it on a different tile, because I believe the explosion chest trap can destroy any items that are on the tile. I've actually seen some experienced players put them 2 tiles away, but I believe when I looked into it, it only affects the tile that it's on. It's hard to test though, because I don't think in Wiz mode you can generate a specific chest trap. I believe I just relied on what information that the wiki had. Isn't always completely reliable, but is generally pretty good. Floating eye corpse that we have to pass up. We can get a detect monster spell book, and that'll serve as a good replacement for floating eyes. It's a really good spell. Or for telepathy that we would get from the floating eyes, I should say. Wait, another ring? Look at this room. We got a wand. That. Slow monster. I don't really use those much, but if you're trying to run away from something, it's good. Or if you think you're going to be fighting something for a long time, for whatever reason, you just want it to get less attacks in, that's useful too. Like most games, I never even zap that wand though, no matter how early I find it. I could probably use it more, I'm going to be completely honest. Sometimes you're just waiting for a monster to come to you so you can get the first attack. Like, those are good opportunities to use wands like that, because they're basically free actions. Or Wizard Lock. Is that that might be the spell that I started with. Rolling a potion. Grabbing gems there. I guess I use unicorns to get luck in this game, because we can't get it through sacrifice. Throw gems at unicorns, you'll get points of luck if they're co-aligned. I could be wrong, but I think I actually had a lot of trouble this game getting a co-aligned unicorn. I could be thinking of another Atheist game that I've played recently, though. It's a great case, or time to use Magic Missile. Get enemies lined up like that, especially tough ones. Nice, we raised our dagger skill. We raise it to basic to skilled. I believe at expert we get another multi-shot bonus. You can throw 2 at once. Nice, +1 constitution. Gives us a little bit of carry cap. I don't know if that put us in a bracket where we get more HP on level up. Might have to get to like 17 for the next bonus. An altar, no use to an atheist like us. Really tedious throwing all these daggers. At some point I find Gauntlets of Power, and that makes the daggers much better. Going from 11 to 25 strength. But for now, we're just stuck with our weak, puny 11 strength and skilled dagger skill. We get by though. Looks like I was checking to see if I bumped into that Etten zombie. I do that a lot. Very slot weaponless. These things, they have the potential to hit hard. Orc Captain? It was like an early Orc Captain. I wonder if that was like another Orc that had a potion to gain level or something. It's up to difficulty 7 monsters could spawn here. I don't know what Orc Captains actually are. Okay, though, easily dispatched. I think I'm punching this right now. Rock moles, I believe, are slow and don't hit hard. I didn't want to throw daggers at it because I get all the monsters that eat stone and metal mixed up. I think a rock mole could eat my daggers, which is why we wouldn't want to do that. You feel more confident in your fighting skills. So we could raise our unarmed combat if we want, which we obviously won't. Wizards will always be terrible at that. Yeah, starting to run into some tough monsters. I'm really happy that we had Magic Missile, because some of these fights would be a lot more annoying. And that is a huge out for us. Like, that Yeti could have been a lot of trouble. Having to, like, kite it and throw daggers and stuff. Sounds like a nightmare. Whenever I see those ice vortices, I always check to see if they're energy vortexes, because those are extremely annoying and actually deadly enemies. They're similar color, but different. You don't actually have to inspect them like that. I think that's just my paranoia. So I'm just waiting to regain some power here. Visibility actually threw off that dingo. I've been playing some DCSS lately, and I was joking that NetHack has ruined invisibility for me because it doesn't really do much. I believe how it works is monsters track you like perfectly all the time, no matter where they are. Like, they can be on the other side of the map and they'll like just walk towards you. Like, they know where you are. Invisibility makes it so on like certain percentage of their turns, they don't know, so they act randomly, I guess. Over time, they'll still make their way towards you. And if they're not that far from you, usually they'll get pretty close to you. But sometimes, just the RNG, they'll kind of bumble around like that dingo did. I believe that's how that works. I hope I'm not mischaracterizing it. Killer bees, these guys are annoying. But wow, one shot with a dagger, feels great. Probably more where that came from though. We gotta be careful. Yeah, I put on my lamp so I could see them in the corridor. You can't see them with infravision because they're small, I believe, or maybe because they're cold-blooded. At any rate, you don't see Team A with infravision. Heck yeah, line up some magic missile there. 2 for 1. A lot better if I had a scare tool. Bugle, tooled horn, leather drum. We don't have poison resistance, so every sting drain our strength to kill us. A lot of bad effects here. We're actually getting value out of invisibility in situations like this too. It's effective. I don't want to undersell it, but it's just not super effective, I always feel like, and it's like a trivial to acquire and maintain for the entire game. There's so many ways you can get permanently invisible. Almost just something you assume. Look at that, we stepped on a magic trap. Yeah, it's basically something you'll assume that you'll always have. Games like Brogue or DCSS, invisibility is actually pretty dang strong. That mummy is undead, another thing that we can't see with infravision. What is this, a soldier ant? Team A is out to get us today. Another killer bee, this is so annoying. It's kind of keeping our distance, throwing daggers. If I had more power, we could just blast everything with magic missile. We really have to conserve it. Guess I'm just gonna take turns throwing daggers back and forth with this Gnome King. Throw the dagger named ammo. The Gnome King picks up the dagger named ammo. The Gnome King throws a dagger named ammo at you. It's always amusing. My favorite is when you're throwing daggers at nymphs, and she just keeps picking up every dagger you throw, and never actually takes an action other than that, so you just end up throwing like daggers until they die. Really amusing to picture that. Tapped door, how annoying. Ah, the Oracle level. That explains the ants. Oracle has like neutral spell generation, or monster generation, which leans it towards certain enemy types. I don't know how to explain it. Or I don't know enough about the specific details to explain it terribly well, but you'll see more ants. I believe things like horses and domestic animals are probably on there as well. Is that a typo? I don't know why I threw that dagger all the way up there. We're gonna want to break those statues to find if there's any spellbooks in there, but we don't have any great methods of doing that yet. I mean, we can use Force Bolt, but I don't want to waste a bunch of power right now. Below level 3, I think, any statue has a chance of... Well, not any statue. Historic statues don't. The ones that are generated in Medusa and stuff. The statues you find in the dungeon... Actually, those are historic statues, so those ones count, but like Medusa statues don't. I don't know if like ones you find in like cockatrice nests may not. I'm not really sure about that. But anyways, the Oracle is a guaranteed set of statues that can all have the potential to hold spellbooks, so you can usually find a spellbook in there. Not always. Sometimes you find more than one. If you're looking for spells, that's a good thing to do. Throwing on our blindfold and trying to draw that yellow light out. And you find all the altars on those games, or these games, when you can't even use them. Ain't that the truth? So Sokoban is always on the floor below the Oracle, so we just finished the Oracle. A deep Oracle, actually. That was on dungeon level 8. I think 9's the deepest it can be. It's bad for Sokoban, because Sokoban... The level For monster generation purposes, as you go up, continues going down. So when we go upstairs here, it's going to be dungeon level 10 for generation purposes, and then 11, 12, and then 13 at the top. And since Sokoban levels are small, tend to go through them pretty quickly. You don't really, gain much in the way of things that can make you survive or fight better. Fight tougher enemies on the way up there. And then there's a zoo at the top that's just packed with stuff. So Sokoban in general, you end up with it gets pretty tough on by the top floor, but especially when it's this deep. Sometimes if I find Sokoban early, it's a little risky, but I'll run up through the whole thing just to generate the zoo at the top. Come back later if I don't have any good ways to deal with it. But sometimes I'll be like level 3 or 4. I'll find it on dungeon level like 6, and I'll just go up there and then leave, basically. Not really recommended. I probably shouldn't do that as often as I do. I don't know if I've ever died doing that. I'm sure I have in the past. I don't know if it's happened recently. There's a wand of magic missile, not nearly as good as a spell. Marginally useful for us since we are weaponless and our power regenerates quite slowly. There are always scrolls of earth. What did I do? Oh. Yeah, it's a 200 value scroll. I had identified it as a 100 value, so I made a typo when I was IDing things earlier. Yeah, Sokoban's full of food, which, of course, is not really helpful for us. And there's a wand and a ring on every floor. So since we're... The main thing that's holding us back in this game, I mean, there's a lot of stuff, but one thing that will kill us, no matter what, if we don't find it before a certain point, which is not really that far into the game, is if we don't find... Okay, that's just a Naga hatchling. Is if we don't find our slow I'm sorry, we have slow digestion. We need polymorph control, so we can self-polymorph to restore our hunger. Golden Nagas are scary because they cast spells if you don't have magic resistance, which we do. So it's not that bad. They can curse your items pretty badly, and more importantly, they can destroy your armor, which is pretty nasty. This is just a hatchling though; it can't do any of that. And that's why I checked. Yeah, Golden Nagas are one of the odd early spellcasters that can pose quite a threat. Or at least be a major nuisance. I mean, they can destroy your armor. Goodbye, speed boots. Oh man, if we were to lose our +5 boots, that would be nasty. Freezing sphere, just let that blow up on us. Actually missed us because we were invisible. Linus Cube. Those can paralyze, so they're very annoying. Was he carrying around the copper wand? No, we already found the wand on this floor, so that was just a death drop. I think he would eat it normally though. That's one of striking. So, striking, magic missile, the wands, not amazing, but on this character I think any damage source is decent. Just want to check under every boulder in Sokoban to make sure the ring isn't sitting under it or something. Some of the boulders, to finish the puzzles, you don't even have to move. So there could be something sitting under it, you don't even know that. So Check under every boulder. In 3.6 NetHack, you can destroy boulders and break all the Sokoban rules after you fill all the pits. If you gotta break one to check under them, feel free to do that after filling in everything else. If you do it before, you'll get a luck penalty. A Pyrolisk, which is pretty annoying to be generated over there because it's just gonna sit there. It can gaze us with its fiery eyes and destroy scrolls, potions, and do a pretty good amount of damage if we don't have fire resistance. Being blind negates its gaze. They're throwing a blindfold here. And try to finish this puzzle. Or at least until I get out here. Pretty tricky. I wonder if I'm going to end up putting a blindfold on every time I put a boulder there. It's probably the best way to do that. I can't walk around on the left here without a blindfold. What did he have? Cloak and shoes. Oh wait, where'd it go? Did I kill it? Oh no, I put the blindfold on like I said. Never mind. Didn't catch that. Okay, I just used a magic missile to kill it. I didn't think I could reach it from the left, so I had to push a few boulders in first. I'm gonna fast forward through this. See, let me try. Nice. See how this goes. Gargoyle. Here, let's slow down. Gargoyles are... They can be pretty tough when you start seeing them. They're one of the monsters that I always stop and think about once I first see them. A lot of times you kill them easily. Like, a magic missile with a bouncer will probably just kill it. But they can pose a threat to certain characters. Huh, I missed it twice though. I'll do that again. I missed it twice again. Yeah, they have good AC. That's one of the problems. We hit it and missed. Oh my god, there's two. There's 4 zombies behind us as well. Magic missile out again. Finally kill that one. Okay, both gargoyles are dead at least. Zombies shouldn't be too bad, they're slow. Looks like I'm probably just gonna throw daggers and kite them. Sokoban can get dangerous, especially if you're taking a lot of time, which, like, when I'm trying to kill these zombies with daggers, we are spending a lot of time. Kind of slow to kite these guys and try and kill them with my daggers right now. Look at these enchanted, or my strength up, or my get to expert might help a little bit. But I don't know, I don't think, don't quote me on this, but I don't think monster generation is slowed down in Sokoban, but it's a smaller map. This is just my theory, I guess. So you tend to see like a lot more monsters a lot more often, just because of the size of the map. And if you spend a lot of time on a Sokoban floor without like doing anything, it can fill up with monsters pretty quickly and get pretty dangerous. You'll notice that a lot if you're having trouble like on one of the Sokoban floors and you go down to like the floor below to rest and heal. You do that a lot, which you tend to do on like the top of the Sokoban. I'll play this fast again. But you tend to do on like the top of Sokoban, if you're like having trouble with the zoo or like something tough spawns up there, you might come back down a couple times. It's been a few hundred turns on the floor below, just healing. And you might not even realize it if you're like, you know, sitting in the room with the door closed. Something spawns every now and then. Well, not even really, because things don't spawn generally in your line of sight, so nothing really spawns in there. So now you're actually closing off, like on this floor, for instance, if you're sitting right here, nothing's really going to generate here. So that took away like half the level. So everything's just going to generate like right here. You're going to leave out here, and there might be a room full of monsters there. Again, I just checked everything in there. Or under all these boulders, I should say, to see if I missed anything. That wasn't actually a red naga, it wasn't a hatchling. And that's why, if you take a while, a lot of stuff tends to spawn in here too. These rooms can be dangerous. It really sucks. Oh, look at that, we just got poisoned. The snake bites, the bite was poisoned, you feel weaker. Dang, I just went from 12 to 9 strength, that's so annoying. Ooh, getting sandwiched here too. Let's see what happens. Sometimes if there's a monster that can use wands in this ending room, the wand that's guaranteed on the Sokoban floor will generate in there, and they'll pick it up and use it against you. And that could be anything, a wand of death or whatever. There's a lot of little things that can go wrong in Sokoban. Like the wands can be super valuable though, and the rings too if you have a way to identify them. Often the gold from the zoo is the first time you get enough to buy some protection. Food can help a lot. I don't know. I like doing Sokoban. I think invisibility saved us there as well. I guess I shouldn't undersell invisibility. Made it so we could fight that werejackal, and the snakes didn't really bother with us. Or they might have been hiding under stuff there too. Snakes like to hide under items. Means they're not moving towards you. Looks like I'm about to get sandwiched again here. Just an iguana over there on the left. Shouldn't be an issue. Speaking of wands generating over here, there it is, the wand and the ring. Rapid rat. So I believe they have a poison attack. Huh, we got another one there? Look at all the rings we have now. The one's polymorph control. Obviously, since we're doing this, we know we won, so we got polymorph control at some point. What are our wands? No message there. Most of the no message wands aren't immediately useful. That's it. I like this speed. I don't know, I haven't been doing this the whole time. I mean, a place like Sokoban, this is really going to help us fast forward while also not missing anything. We get there, hang on. Back it up. +1 strength, +1 dex. Now I believe this strength is wasted because our strength is lower right now from poison. And once we cure the poison, it doesn't bring us back to 1 more strength than we had previously. Actually, I wonder if that's a bug, because I think they changed how that works for like other situations. I think I should just mention that. Maybe to someone on the dev team, just get their thoughts on that. It's kind of annoying. I mean, if you're even exercising, you get stronger. You would think once your poison's cured, you'd be up to new strength. I don't know. It's not my place to decide. But yeah, +1 strength, +1 dex. Can't complain about that. Expert dagger. Very nice. It's at level 9. Actually, let's see what HP boost that gave us. Backing up. It doesn't look like much. What do we have, like 43 or 46? Yeah, 46 to 49. Not a lot. But what about our power? 91 to 103. That's not bad. Actually, 12 points of power. So horse here. We could throw food at it. Looks like I just used magic missile. Another wand. Let's see what this is. Just light. I'm just freeing up some inventory space here before we do the next floor. I want a light. Jeez. So we knew that was the giant mimic. There's always 2 boulders on the top floor that are giant mimics disguised. That one was out of place. It was obvious. I didn't catch if we actually killed it, though. Is it hiding somewhere else? We're gonna find out soon enough. The mimic can be on top of the other boulders. Oh, look at that. Killed something. I was throwing stuff at the boulders to make sure that I wouldn't go to push it and then have it be a mimic. The giant mimic could... Hang on, I'm gonna actually look this up. It gets 2 claw attacks for 3d6 damage. So it could do 36 damage 1 turn potentially. And they're sticky attacks, so it grabs you, so you can't run away. Elbereth is usually how you want to get out of that, but I can't do that. I don't know if the expensive camera works on them, because they don't have eyes, so probably not. So yeah, there's not a lot of great solutions if we get grabbed by a mimic. So yeah, we're just throwing stuff at the boulders to test them before we use them if we're not sure. Cool, so that was that other one. Easily killed with our magic missile. I think I just screwed up. Yeah, did you see that? I typed whoops. Hang on, I'm backing up. Whoops. Probably have to break a boulder or something. Let's see how I end up fixing it. Losing a point of strength when you're at 0 strength isn't a huge deal. So how luck works is every 600 turns, starting from turn 0, it checks and that's when it will readjust your luck. So if you lose a point of luck here, you might get your luck back 1 turn from now, or from then, if that's when that check is. So you can just divide your, or see what the next multiple of 600 is. That's when it's going to check. So at most, your luck will get restored at within 600 turns. Usually it's not a huge deal to lose a point or 2 of luck in Sokoban. I play fast, and especially when I'm not playing often, sometimes I make mistakes. So I'm definitely breaking a few boulders in Sokoban, and it's not really a huge deal. Now if you have positive luck, you don't get that back. So then you have to find a way to do that. But if you have positive luck, then you're in good shape. It doesn't even matter. The ogre is friendly, by the way, because we're chaotic, thankfully. Oh, did I even break anything? Looks like we're fine. Oh, actually, these 2 boulders, we're not going to be able to separate. We don't even need them. We're not even going to lose 1 point of luck here. Quarter is always a little scary. Sometimes a bunch of stuff spawns there. The Sokoban Zeruti. I don't know if anyone saw my tourist game. Luckily that one didn't give as much trouble. Yeah, checking a few monsters of interest there, making sure we don't have a Mind Flayer over there. Mind Flayer can't generate here, but you can get shapeshifters, which can be really annoying. Especially, sometimes there's a shapeshifter in there, and you know, every 6 turns or whatever, it's going to turn into something new. Sometimes it turns into an Arc Lich, and then while you're doing the puzzle, it just teleports to you and you die. Bad stuff. So I put my Elven boots on. I don't even know if we knew if they were cursed or not, but we had to. Use Magic Missile here and just try to kill everything in this line. Stealth means we can walk in here without waking all this stuff up. It's all sleeping. Or we hope. Sometimes stuff is awake. They might have fixed that though. I remember there was some... Man, back in 3.6.2, so I guess it would have been updated in 3.6.3. They were messing with like how stuff is generated sleeping and everything. I don't know if you remember back in that Taurus game, actually, at the beginning of it, like, we were running into monsters that generated sleeping. That was it was a bug that was a side effect of them tweaking that part of the code. Oh, quantum mechanic went into the room. So this scroll inside the closet is always scare monster, and it's always curse. So turn off auto pickup if you don't want to pick it up and have it break. I just did there. Oh yeah, we started with scare monster, so we already knew that. But sometimes you want to like use that if you're gonna fight other stuff in here. Or sometimes it's a weird place where you might do like some kind of dangerous reverse genocide antics because it's like a no teleport level and you have a guaranteed scroll of scare monster there and Elberth, so you're pretty safe there. L4 turns into an Elven King. Drink a potion to gain level? I guess so. I guess that one's awake. It's annoying because sometimes if there's a monster that has range attacks, which elves often have bows, they'll like attack you when you're like trying to like tiptoe and sneak through this zoo, and then they'll like hit other stuff. Once I was walking past a Mumak, and then an elf hit it when they were trying to hit me, and then it one-shot me. It was really bad. So we got that triangular amulet is reflection, which is pretty kick-ass. Now we have MR and reflection. It's a huge boost to our survivability here. Oh, the Elven King turns into a pilferer. Okay, so that is sleeping, and it's a doppelganger. Doppelgangers tend to stick towards at sign forms, so humans and player characters and elves and that kind of thing when they're transforming. They can turn into liches and the like. Like I try to just sneak out here instead of using energy or more power to kill stuff. This is a perfectly executed Sokoban Zoo for our character. Just kill this line, kill everything in the back row, check all the doors, and leave, and not have to bother with anything else. That was pretty risky doing that, but that worked out perfectly for us. Not have gone better. Of all that stuff. I'm surprised it'll fit in our inventory. Vampire bats, those are poisonous. So I forgot if I could check those, or if I did check those earlier. We got more strength and more con. Again, that strength is going to be wasted. Sweet. We're out of Sokoban. I presume that we're going back to Minetown now. Price ID these rings and hope that we got poly control in here. This is really our last chance. Unless we're gonna get really lucky with something else. We have a decent stockpile of rings right now. We might have something good. Oh, I didn't even fully explore that floor. I was diving for Sokoban because I wanted those rings. And there we go. We just turned hungry. That means... Hang on, I want to look this up actually. The hungry is at 150, weak is at 50, fainting is at 0. We basically have 150 turns. So we're going to die. Except we have slow digestion, which I believe roughly kind of... I don't know, it depends what other stuff you have that's causing hunger. Probably going to extend it by like 10 to 20 turns for us. Or multiply that. So we probably got like 1 to 2,000 turns. I don't know, my math is probably way off there, but if I had to estimate before we have issues, so yeah, we really have to hope that one of those rings we grabbed is poly control. Otherwise, this whole game so far is for naught. It looks like my real playtime was about 3 hours at this point. There's idle time and stuff cooked into that, which is actually pretty much how long we've been reviewing it as well. Oddly enough, though we've been watching at a different speed than I've been playing. But yeah, that's actually a fun spot to stop. I was gonna wait till we get to Minetown, but once we got hungry there, it's probably a good spot. So I think next time we're going to Minetown, price ID. And the main reason we're going to price ID is so we can intelligently use our identify scrolls. Since they're not stacking, we have one scroll we know guaranteed is either cursed or blessed. So we had a blessed scroll, that would be sweet. I don't know what we actually end up with. But yeah, we'll tune in next time and see if we got what we need there. Spoilers, but I believe the answer is yes, since Again, we did ascend this game. But yeah, try to get that up next week. Do another one. I'm really glad I actually figured out that watching it fast forward like we were in Sokoban. I think we're going to do that again. It's going to go a little smoother for the rest of these videos. That should help. There's reasons I haven't done that before, but I think I've worked around them, so it's a pretty fluid way to watch these. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you got any questions, drop them below. If some of that was going too fast, because after I started doing that, let me know. I think I can interpret all the game symbols and what's going on probably better than a lot of people that might be tuning in. I don't want to say it like that, but some people, it's a lot of information to parse in. That's for sure. But yeah, I will stop rambling, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.